Hello, and welcome to the July 10th, 2023 meeting of the Menlo Park Planning Commission. I am Chair Cynthia Harris, and I want to thank you for joining us this evening here in council chambers or remotely via Zoom. Established by state law, our city's planning commission is composed of 7 volunteer residents of Menlo Park, appointed to 4-year terms by the city council. Our planning commission is not a policy setting body, that's the city council. We are a policy implementing body. We review development proposals on public and private lands for compliance with our city's general plan, state statutes, and zoning ordinances. The commission reviews and is the final decision-making body, unless appealed to the city council, for all development proposals that are requiring a use permit, architectural control, a variance, minor subdivision, as well as the environmental review associated with those projects. The commission also serves as the recommending body to the city council for major subdivisions, rezoning, conditional development permits, zoning ordinance amendments, general plan amendments, environmental reviews, and below market rate or BMR housing agreements associated with those projects. We encourage your active participation, whether you're an applicant or an interested member of the public, and there will be an option to speak publicly for each specific agenda item, as well as for general public comment. With that, I will bring this meeting to order and call the roll. Vice Chair Doe.
Present.
Commissioner Eric.
Present.
Commissioner Riggs.
Present.
Commissioner Schindler.
Present.
And I'm here as well, so we have a quorum and we can begin. Do we have any reports or announcements, Ms. Sandmeyer?
Yes, good evening, Chair Harris and Commissioners. So tomorrow evening, there will be an item at the City Council to clarify the process for determining the appraisal value for bonus level development projects and an updated community amenities list for Bayfront projects. There's also a study session on the agenda for the preferred concept for the Middle Avenue Caltrain crossing. That concludes my updates, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any commissioner questions on those reports and announcements? Okay. So we will move now to item D on our agenda, which is public comment. Under public comment, the public may address the commission on any subject that is not listed on the agenda. Each speaker may address the commission once under public comment for a limit of 3 minutes. You are not required to provide your name, district, neighborhood, or city of residence, but it is helpful. The commission cannot act on items not listed on the agenda, and therefore the commission cannot respond to non-agenda issues brought up under public comment other than to provide general information. Please know that if you are here tonight to comment on one of our agenda items, you will have a chance to speak when we get to that item on the agenda. So to learn how to participate, I'm going to turn to our clerk this evening, Mr. Turner, to explain the procedure.
Yes, thank you, Chair Harris. So during the public comment period, members of the public will have an opportunity to share their comments or questions remotely by clicking the hand icon on your screen, upon which staff will introduce you and activate your microphone. For those calling into tonight's meeting, you can click *9 on your keypad, and that will notify staff that you have a comment. If multiple people are speaking from the same account, please let us know at the beginning of your time, and we will make sure each person gets a chance to speak. And if you're participating in person, if you could please fill out a speaker card, which are located in the back of the room, and hand it to me, that would be great. So at the moment, I don't have any hands raised online and no speaker cards for in-person general public comment.
Okay, then we will close public comment and move on. Item E is the consent calendar. However, we do not have any items on the consent calendar tonight, so we will move to the public hearing portion of this meeting. The first item is F1, which is a use permit for 1380 Cotton Street, and it's to consider and adopt a resolution to approve a use permit for excavation within the required setbacks, both east and west, for 2 basement light wells associated with a new 2-story residence on a standard lot in the R1S, that's single family suburban residential zoning district, and to determine this action is categorically exempt under CEQA guidelines, section 15303's class 3 exemption for new construction or conversion of small structures. The proposal also includes an attached accessory dwelling unit, or an ADU, which is a permitted use and is not subject to discretionary review. Does staff or the applicant wish to make a short presentation on this item?
Thank you, Chair Harris. Calvin Chan, Senior Planner. Staff doesn't have any comments or updates to provide at this time. We do note that the applicant, Salar Safé, as well as the property owner, Mehdi Magsudnia, do have a brief presentation for the commission.
Okay, you may proceed.
I just want to say I've been here for 40 years. I don't plan to move. I went to Stanford Graduate School. My family's here. My friends are here. And I'm building this because my family's expanding. And we have our kids are growing up and they're bringing their girlfriends and boyfriends, and the house needs more rooms and more capacity for privacy. So and I appreciate the fact that you guys are considering this. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, I'd like to open it up for the commission if you have any clarifying questions before we go to public comment on this item. Okay. All right, no. Then, Mr. Turner, could you open up public comment on F1, please?
Yes, thank you, Chair Harris. And again, if you would like to give public comment and you're participating on Zoom, please click the raise hand button. And if you are participating in person, fill out a comment card and hand it to me. At the moment, I do not have any hands raised and don't have any comment cards.
Okay, we will then close public comment and move it back up here to the dais for any commissioners who would like to speak on this item, questions, comments, or ultimately a motion. Commissioner Schindler.
Thank you, Chair Harris. I have a question for staff. I was unable to locate the zoning or regulation that specifically speaks to requirements for light wells for egress. Could you give me that piece of information, where that is and what the minimum requirements are for light wells for egress?
So in preparation for this meeting, staff did consult with our building division regarding this question. The minimum requirements for light well egress are found in the California Building Code. So that's why you probably didn't locate it in the Municipal Code Title 16 for zoning. We did consult with our building division, and they did mention that at least for one of the light wells, this would be the right side east, the minimum required size would be 3 feet by 3 feet.
Thank you. That's helpful to know that it's a building code, and that's probably why I didn't find it where I was looking. Can you clarify why that's a requirement on just one side of the building as opposed to both light wells in this case?
Yeah, through the chair, I believe the requirement is for the light well to be adjacent to the bedrooms, and those are on the left side of the proposed residence. And due to the size of the basement, a second light well is required, but it could be in the back of the residence, so that way it would be available for egress, but it could be outside of that right side setback.
Thank you. That's helpful context, given that there are just a couple of references in there to the egress element of it. Thank you.
Does anyone else have any comments or would like to make a motion? Commissioner Riggs.
Reading this application left me a little bit at a loss for words. I think I've occasionally daydreamed about the ability to build a basement with a full 3-bedroom, 3-bath house in it. And here it is before me, although it's not pitched that way. What would be the master suite isn't the same as the 2-bedroom walls, but I think, put simply, there isn't any code against having this much space. And we do allow for excavations in side yards for basements with just a clearance through the Planning Commission. So while this is not exactly a house I would normally expect to see for approval, it seems to meet all the guidelines.
Thank you, Commissioner Riggs. Does anyone else have any comment? Commissioner Eric.
I don't have any comments or questions, but I'm happy to make a motion to approve as per the staff report.
Commissioner Schindler.
And I'm happy to second.
Okay. I'm going to just read out the full motion and just let me know if this is fine with you. Adopt a resolution to approve the use permit for excavation within the required setback for 2 basement light wells per the staff report.
That works for me.
Okay. Okay. So at this time, let's take a vote. First, Vice Chair Doe,
Yes.
Commissioner Eric,
Yes.
Commissioner Riggs,
Yes.
Commissioner Schindler,
Yes.
and I'm a yes as well. So the motion passes 5-0, and we will move on to the next item. Thank you for coming. Okay, so the next item, F2, is for a use permit for 1055 San Mateo Drive. And that's to consider and adopt a resolution to approve a use permit to construct first-story additions and interior alterations to an existing non-conforming 1-story single-family residence located in the R1S, that's single-family suburban residential zoning district. To determine this action is categorically exempt under CEQA guidelines, section 15301's class 1 exemption for existing facilities. The proposed work would exceed 75% of the replacement value of the existing non-conforming structure in a 12-month period. At this time, would staff or the applicant wish to make a presentation?
My apologies. Thank you. I'll just start. I have one opening comment. Matt Pruder, Associate Planner with Planning Division. Thank you, Chair Harris and Planning Commissioners and members of the public. Just as a quick update for this project, we received one public comment by email over the weekend after staff report publication in expressing support for the project. And that's the only update we have for now, but I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you. And then we can follow with the applicant remarks. Thank you.
Thank you. Were there any clarifying questions from the commission? Okay, so to the applicant, please step up.
Thank you, and nice to meet everyone. My name is Justin Pirzade. I'm with my partner, Jensen Smith. We didn't bring our 2 kids. It's kind of late for them, but we have two young kids. We just moved here a year ago, as you probably saw, but just wanted to share some background on us and the project. So I actually grew up in Menlo Park, went through the elementary school system, which we have a 2.5 and a 4-year-old, and so part of the motivation for moving here, we both were in San Francisco before that, was to allow our kids to kind of go through that same process. It's been honestly a bit surreal for me to move back here, and we've been doing playground trips to Oak Knoll and get them to kind of see that, and in a place where I went, and it's very much kind of felt like returning home, which has been really exciting. So that kind of like brings us to our project. We are going into this project simply because we need more space. We have 2 young kids, as I said, but could potentially have a growing family, and we have my parents who are very close by. It's my dad right there, and Jensen's family, who we're very close with. Her mom just moved to Laguna Beach. We host them often, and so we're looking to do this project to basically allow capacity for our family to grow, but also for our family to be able to host. And we have aging parents, as everyone does, and we fully expect, or at least want the opportunity to allow flex space for one of our parents to move in if need be. Jensen's mom did that for her father-in-law, so her grandfather, and it also comes back to the idea behind the ranch style of this home. We very much like the idea of being in this ranch style. The one story has been great for our kids. Everyone has loved kind of going in and out. We came from a 2-3 story in San Francisco, which this has been much more just kind of user friendly. I grew up in a ranch style, as all homes in Menlo Park were when I was growing up. I think Jim and Gary have done a really nice job of building something or designing something that meets all our requirements. We were honestly like very impressed and surprised that he did that in the space that allows. So yeah, we're very excited to kind of go forward and happy to take questions.
Great, thank you. Without any are there any clarifying questions? If not, we'll move on to public comment. So can you open up public comment, Mr. Turner, on this item?
Yes. Thank you again, Chair Harris. If you would like to give public comment and are participating via Zoom, please click that raise hand button. I don't have anybody online, but I do have a comment card from a Sally Cole. Give me 1 second to pull up your picture.
I don't think, there we go. Hi, everyone. I'm Sally Cole. How are you doing? I'm on the Complete Streets Commission, but I'm coming here as a resident of 1235 Santa Cruz Avenue. The corner of my property borders the corner of their property. And I came in person because I know from being in commissions, it's really easy to look at a lot of numbers, a lot of charts and everything else, but I wanted to offer my personal experience and this photo that I took just a few minutes ago at home to show some concerns I have about the non-conforming aspects of the setback here. So I hope this visually shows that there's a really good reason there's a 20-foot setback, because this is well short of that. This setback is at 11.8 feet, so practically in 50% non-conforming. And the reason that concerns me is that this house, prior to the owners moving in, who I'm sure are very nice people, was a very, very loud house. It was rented for a while. There's a pool in the back. There was a lot of noise that came into my yard. And I was hoping when I looked at the plans that I would see more mitigation and more consideration for the noise impact on neighbors. I did not receive the plans from the neighbors beforehand. It looks like they did share them with others. I did not receive them. Here, my concern is that when you look at the pool, which I hope is visible behind that little kind of shrub in the middle, and the pool fence there, and then the family room, it's the 20-foot setback mark is smack in the middle of that pool. Where the family room is on the far corner here, the 20-foot setback is in the middle of the family room. So these structures are built quite deeply into where the setback minimum should really be. What that means is that noise does carry a pool and pool parties and everything else. I'm happy for my neighbors to have them, but this is a situation where the noise really does carry over into my yard, and I think there should be more of an attempt to mitigate it. I looked at the landscape plan, and it's on A23 of the staff report, and I noticed that there really should be, in my opinion, I would ask the commission that if you are going to approve this, I would ask that you ask the landscape plan to be resubmitted with more noise mitigation measures through landscape, whether I know they're planning to put some English laurel bushes on, the fence as it faces this neighbor over here, but it doesn't seem to me that the shrubs on the left are really adequate for noise mitigation. And you don't see this, but if you continue down that property line, the landscape plan shows no additional shrubs of any kind between the family room and the back fence at all. It just says we're using the existing low landscaping and the existing concrete. I definitely think more could be done. I definitely think that's important. I think all of you know that between listening to the quiet zone, public comments and everything else, I think noise really is a concern for people when it comes to quality of life. And I would like to see more in this plan to assure that. The last thing I want to say before I get off the podium is that this postcard was sent to me about this plan. And the postcard only says, something's going to happen at 1055, San Mateo Drive, and we're not going to tell you until 72 hours for the meeting. Well, 72 hours for this meeting, which is Monday night meeting, is Friday night. And I just want to say, I've made my career in communications. I don't consider this adequate notice. I don't consider this adequate public involvement or outreach. It did say in the staff report, we haven't received any public comment. Well, how were we to make any public comment without seeing the plans? I think that really, we've talked a lot about public outreach and complete streets. We know the public wants it. None of us are architects or landscape designers. It takes a while for the average neighbor to go through this and really see and try to be fair about how it might impact them. And I think that this should be changed to, say, 72 hours of business days, 3 business days, instead of asking residents to look at something over a weekend when staff isn't even present to answer questions if they have them. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Do we have any other commenters?
At this time, I do not have any hands raised and no additional comment cards.
Okay, I think we've given enough time. Let's go ahead and close public comment, and we'll bring it back to the dais. Does anyone from the commission have any clarifying questions for staff or the applicant?
Yes.
Commissioner Riggs?
Yes, thank you. Actually, I've always thought I had a pretty good handle on when notices go out for pending projects at the Planning Commission. And I guess I had thought that certainly before COVID, we sent out reduced plans, I thought. So I wondered through the chair if I could ask staff to update what the notification is to neighbors when there's a project coming before us.
Thank you for your question, Commissioner Riggs. To clarify, the process involves 2 notices. When a project is first received, we send one out. And at that time, we include the contact information of the project planner, which has been consistently me in this case from the start. And then, as far as I understand, the second notice is preceding this meeting, and it's to inform members of the public who live within the radius that's mailed that the meeting will be occurring on a certain date, and it includes the project information in terms of the description. We, I believe, also share my contact information again, and there's an opportunity there for members of the public to contact the project planner, and also the phone number, email. In terms of plan sets, I don't believe mail hard copies out. I don't think that's been a practice, as far as I can understand, in recent memory at least, before COVID as well. But we do offer the opportunity for those who receive the postcard and others who contact the city to, let us know if they'd like to see plans or other documents or just understand a status update on the project.
So the first notice that goes out, that's not 72 hours, that's a longer period? Is that more equivalent to the 2-week notice for public hearings?
Yeah, through the chair. So the first notice goes out within a week or two of us receiving the application. And that actually includes a link where neighbors can look up the plans online, select plan sheets. And then both that notice and the notice that goes out that's received about 2 weeks before the hearing, both explain in writing what the project and the proposal is. And they both also include the contact information for the project planner, so in this case, Matt. So if someone has a question based on reading the description or looking at the plans in the link, they're certainly encouraged to reach out to the project planner.
All right, thank you.
Okay, that was helpful. Thank you, Commissioner Riggs, for asking that question. Do we have a presentation on this project, either by staff or the applicant?
Presentation. I was going to just sort of describe our design and the process, but I just wanted to be available if you wanted to have any specific questions.
Okay, perfect. So we'll bring it back to discussion at the dais. Who would like to start us off with any questions, comments, or ultimately a motion? Commissioner Riggs.
Thank you. So the adjacent property owner does point out an issue that we have from time to time relating to privacy. And certainly we have dealt with privacy issues before with landscaping. I think, at least in my experience, that's the lowest impact on the project as a specific attempt to address a privacy issue. And we certainly have addressed this with two-story, second-story additions. In the case of a pool in the backyard, I don't believe the setback applies to a pool structure, but perhaps I should check in with staff to verify that, but there is certainly an outdoor noise factor that on certain days would not be matched by many. I would be interested in hearing from the applicant what measures they would be willing to take to address this.
Yes, hello. My name is Gary McClure. I'm the project manager, and I work with Jim Maliksey, the architect. As far as the mitigation, we are the existing pool equipment. We're going to be relocating that, and we're going to be enclosing that in a sound enclosure, so it will be an insulated fence structure to reduce the sound of the equipment to within the maximum allowed by the city of Menlo Park as one mitigation measure. And as far as the landscaping, I believe we're doing as much as we possibly can because there's those 3 very large sequoia redwoods, which are heritage trees. And as far as we can consult with our our landscape designer, but as far as I know, you can't really plant anything underneath those redwood trees as far as anything that will grow. But again, that could be an issue to discuss with our landscape designer. So I think she tried to get as much as she could up underneath those, but again, that's maybe something we need to discuss with our landscape designer. I
can speak to that, and we did. Gary's right. I mean, we did look at it. I've actually tried to plant some trees under those sequoias. We had one in the past that died very quickly. So I mean, we're happy to reattempt that. But like Gary's saying, I don't know how much mitigation that provides. Look, we love privacy too. So like if there's ideas on that planting something that actually works could provide, then we'd be open to that. I understand. I mean, it's pool parties can be loud with kids. Everyone knows, Menlo Park is super family friendly, so there's kids parties all the time around all the neighborhoods in San Francisco, and that's just part of life in Menlo Park, which personally I love. But I know that we've gotten close with some of the neighbors. I'm sorry we haven't had a chance to reach out yet, and they did mention that there's teenagers in this house before, and it was loud. Of course, our kids will become teenagers at some point, so we get that, and we want to be as respectful of neighbors as we can in that. So we welcome dialogue. If there's nights that are loud, we're happy to kind of be a good neighbor and provide that. So yeah, if there's other ideas, I suppose, but we've kind of looked through that and again, understand that.
Thank you. Commissioner Riggs, do you have any follow-up questions or thoughts?
Well, thank you. I guess my thought would be that the intentions sound positive, but a use permit runs with the property, and things can change. I bought a house once, and 3 months later, I had a job 400 miles away, and the house went out for rent. I mean, within 3 months of escrow, I was out of there. So things happen, and they certainly happen in the tech world. It just seems that somewhere between the landscape architect and the owner and staff, some way to address the issue of the pool would make it a lot easier to approve the project at this point. I realize the pool is already there, but we are expanding the house and expanding its number of occupants. So it just feels that would be helpful.
Thank you, Commissioner Riggs. I guess I have a question to staff on that. What would be our jurisdiction to require a change to the landscape plan? Or is this something where we can request that the owner go back to their landscape architect to try to figure out some more mitigation factors for the noise?
Yeah, so in this case, when there's a use permit for the residence, in some ways it includes the landscaping. I do want to point out the setback requirements for a pool are 5 feet from the rear property line and 5 from the side. So this pool is well outside of the required setbacks. And I also see the heritage redwood trees, and I mean, it would have to be worked out with the project arborist, but planting under those, I don't know if that could impact the health of the heritage trees, so that could be an issue.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other comments from commissioners at this time? Or would someone like to make a motion? Commissioner Doe.
Thank you, Chair Harris. So if I understand correctly, the non-conforming rear setback is existing, but the additions would adhere to the required setbacks. Initially, I was just going to say I was inclined to support the project for those reasons and would hope optimistically that dialogue could be, this could be worked out through speaking with neighbors and scheduling. I appreciate Commissioner Riggs pointing out that, not doubting that you do intend to be here, but you never know. And in the long-term future, so I appreciate your pointing out the use permit goes with the
project. However, I feel uncomfortable imposing anything simply because if I understand the staff report correctly, the proposed additions, they do conform to the setbacks. So I'm supportive of the project. I would be happy to make a motion to approve, but open to further discussion.
Okay, so a motion to approve on the table. Okay, do we have a second or more comments or questions? Commissioner Schindler.
I'd like to second, because I think this commission has consistently operated in almost all examples that I can think of as when there's an existing non-conforming situation, leaving those walls in place in the event of a renovation is something we've let that is sort of operating principle. That's a consistency with the way that we've executed. I do hear the concerns about noise and pools. I think those things, if I understand correctly, would potentially be a factor today. The pool is there today, the pool will be there in the future, and the living room is there today, and it will be there in the future. So the wall isn't going to go away if the renovation doesn't happen. I also, just from personal experience, would suggest oak leaf hydrangeas underneath a redwood tree, not directly underneath them, but slightly offset. I've had success with that, but I've also killed several trees trying to fill the space underneath them, some sequoias as well too. So good luck. Do get creative. The oak leaf hydrangeas are mine are very happy, but it took a couple tries. Okay.
Okay, thank you for this rich discussion. I think we have a first on the table and a second. So if there's no further discussion, I would like to take a vote. Okay, Vice Chair Doe,
Yes.
Commissioner Eric,
Yes.
Commissioner Riggs,
Yes.
Commissioner Schindler,
Yes.
and I'm also a yes. So the motion passes 5-0. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Okay, now we will move on to F3, which is for architectural control. It's to consider and adopt a resolution to approve an architectural control permit for exterior and interior modifications to an existing public facility. That's the fire station number 77. The proposal includes additions for a new fitness room, expansion of the existing mechanic shop, and construction of a new carport. This proposal also includes interior remodeling to the fire station and the addition of an accessible parking stall in the PF, that's Public Facilities Zoning District. Also, to determine this action is categorically exempt under CEQA Guidelines Section 15301's Class 1 exemption for existing facilities. All right, do we have a presentation on this item from staff, or I guess it would be from staff?
Good evening, Chair and Commissioners and members of the public in attendance today. Staff does not have an update on the staff report. There is no presentation from staff or the applicant team, but they are present in case there are any questions that they can answer.
Okay, terrific. We will, are there any clarifying questions from the commission before we move to public comment on this item? Okay, so we will move to public comment now. On this item. Mr. Turner, are there any hands up?
Thank you, Chair Harris. At the moment, I do not see any hands raised, but again, if you would like to give public comment on this item and you're participating via Zoom, please click that raise hand button at the bottom of your screen or click *9 on your phone. And I do not have any in-person comment cards at the moment either.
Okay, I'm actually going to close public comment then and bring it back to the dais for any discussion, questions, and ultimately a motion. Would anyone like to provide comments or a motion? Commissioner Riggs.
By any chance, do we have a presentation on this project visually? Project drawings were predominantly technical, so it would be great to have a better sense of what we're looking at.
Staff, are you able to provide?
Yeah, through the chair, we're looking for the exact sheets. We do have sheets with color elevations.
Okay, how about while staff is taking a look for that, if you wouldn't mind, Commissioner Riggs, if we move on to someone else and come back, would that be okay? No problem. Okay. Does anyone else have any? Commissioner Schindler.
Thank you, Chair Harris. Included was a very helpful letter that laid out, had a description of the work that was going to be done on the fire station, but it's not clear to me from either the applicant letter or the details in the staff report, just when that went out, who it went out to, and just I'd like a little bit more information about about that and whether there was a response.
Okay, another question to staff.
Sure. This evening, we have Mr. John Hitchcock from the fire department who can answer that question.
I believe you're referencing the project letter. I walked the neighborhood and I provided that approximately about 6 months ago when we originally were submitting to the city of Menlo Park.
Thank you. So just to be sure I'm understanding, the physical letter was given out to the houses within a block or two, or?
I walked all the residents that were surrounding our property.
Okay.
I handed it out to them.
Okay, got it. And was there any, what was the reaction? What was the feedback that you got to in the instances where you spoke with someone?
There was actually no feedback from any of the neighbors. None of them were home, and none of them reached back out to me after I initially gave them the letter.
Thank you. It's helpful just to have that additional detail.
Okay, it looks like we've got some additional plans up on the screen. If staff, you would like to take us through those more, or if Commissioner Riggs, you'd like to provide more discussion or questions.
No, this is terrific. This is specifically the addition at the main building. Is there also an addition to one of the utility buildings?
I believe it's on the next sheet.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Riggs. Is there anyone else that has a comment, question, or a motion at this time? Commissioner Schindler.
I think this looks very straightforward and like a great use of resources and construction to augment this particular site, make it more functional for the important work that the fire department does out of that station. So I would like to recommend that we adopt a resolution granting architectural control to the applicant for the renovations at the fire station at, 1467 Chilco.
Thank you for that motion. Do we have a second at this time? A second from Commissioner Eric. Is there any more discussion or? Okay, so we are going to take a vote then at this time. Vice Chair Doe?
Yes.
Commissioner Eric?
Yes.
Commissioner Riggs?
Yes.
Commissioner Schindler?
Yes.
And I'm also a yes, so the motion passes 5-0. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Okay, the last item is F4, which is easement abandonment for 1585 Bay Laurel Drive. And The task before us is to adopt a resolution determining that the vacation of a storm drain easement lying within 1585 Bay Laurel Drive is consistent with the general plan, and recommending that the city council approve the requested abandonment, determine this action is categorically exempt under CEQA guidelines, section 15305's class 5 exemption for minor alterations in land use limitations. All right, is there a staff or applicant presentation on this topic? Okay, so let me open it up to public comment for this item. Mr. Turner.
Thank you, Chair Harris. If you would like to give public comment on this item, please click that raise hand button on Zoom or bring a comment card up to me if you're participating in person. And at the moment, I do not have any hands raised and I don't have any comment cards.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Turner. We are going to close public comment on this item and bring it back to the dais for discussion, question, motion.
Through the chair, we do
Yes.
have the senior civil engineer who prepared the report on Zoom, and I believe he has a correction to the report as well.
Okay,
Good
can you
evening.
tell me, tell me how you pronounce your name?
Thank you for asking. My first name is Rambot, and my last name is Hakamanishi. I'm the senior civil engineer for engineering division.
Thank
And you
you.
can call me Rambot as
Okay,
much
thank you very
easier.
much. And you said that we were told that you have a correction you'd like to.
Yes,
share with us.
I noticed that on the second page of the resolution, page A2, unfortunately, we have a typo. The correct address is 1585 Bay Laurel Drive. The typo is that mentioned 1701. And I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Okay, thank you for that.
Second page of resolution.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Okay, does anyone have any other questions, comments, or a motion? Commissioner Eric.
Thank you. Through the chair, I believe I have a question for Rambaud. Hopefully I pronounced that right. I will readily admit that I'm not a civil engineer. I'm curious what percentage of easements in the city are like this in that they've never been used, they're never used. It seems like they might never be used. Is this a fairly common occurrence or is this a irregular occurrence?
We don't have a really exact statistic on this, so I can't give you a percentage, but I can say based on my 6 years experience with City of Menlo Park, this is a rare situation, but it happens. I think in last 6 years we had maybe 5-6 application for easement vacation, which in any case, because the easement was not needed for the purpose that it was dedicated, city staff recommended the abandonment.
Okay, I guess a follow-up question to that. So I noted in the staff report that no objection letters from the utility companies are not required because this is not active. But reading this report did make me think back to this past winter when we had a significant amount of rain. And I'm wondering, I guess the motivation for my question was, would we need this in the future, and would we want to give utility companies an opportunity to tell us that we might need this in the future?
So thanks for that question. The reason that we didn't ask for objection letter from any other utility companies is that per resolution 1161, this easement is for only the limited purpose of stormwater. So only City of Menlo Park for the purpose of the stormwater has the right to use this piece of land, this 60 feet piece of land. So that was specified in that resolution. So, and City of Menlo Park is the only basically easement holder. Based on the resolution, for example, PG&E, Cal Water, or any other utility agencies has any right to this land. So that's why we didn't need any objection letter from them. It's because it's not applicable. The only agency that has the right is City of Menlo Park, and our stormwater facility can be and has the right to be there. And currently we have one, but it's 100% located in the adjacent property. If we look at Exhibit A as part of Attachment A, it shows that there is a storm drain line at property 1605 Bay Laurel Drive, the adjacent property, and we keep that portion of the easement. So the existing portion easement is 60 foot wide. We are going to, as part of this, recommending the abandonment of the only 30 feet of it that is within 1585. And as part of our investigation and doing our research, making sure that our recommendation is correct, we investigated the site with our maintenance crew, and we came to this conclusion that the 30 feet that currently exists on 1605 Bay Laurel Drive is sufficient for the maintenance and all the needs of our stormwater facilities, the lines, maintenance, repair, and everything else. So we are not going to abandon the whole 60 feet. It's only going to abandon 30 feet of it that we determine not really needed at this point.
Okay, thank you. That's helpful. Obviously, I'm not a civil engineer, and you answered my follow-up question, which is I was hoping to gain some level of confidence that even in the event of large storms like we experienced this past winter, as a city, we're confident that the remaining 30 feet will be sufficient, particularly, obviously, this is located very close to a creek. So this seems like an important storm drain.
That's correct. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question and the answer. Would anyone else like to comment or have some more questions or a motion? Commissioner Riggs.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to recommend the approval of the vacation.
Thank you, Commissioner Riggs. Do we have a second?
I'm happy to second.
Thank you, Commissioner Schindler. Okay, we will take a vote. Vice Chair Doe?
Yes.
Commissioner Eric?
Yes.
Commissioner Riggs?
Yes.
Commissioner Schindler?
Yes.
And I'm also a yes. So the motion passes 5-0. Thank you very much, and thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, now we will move on to item H, which is informational items. Would anyone from staff wish to provide an update on the upcoming commission meetings and agenda? July 24th or August 14th?
Yes. Good evening again. So we have a meeting on July 24th. So we have general plan and specific plan amendments for street closures downtown, an information item on the environmental justice and safety elements. And then we have the Willow Village architectural control permits for parcels 6 and 7. And that's all we have for that meeting. And then the following meeting will be August 14th, and that agenda has not been finalized.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions that commissioners have, or any items they want to bring up at this time? Commissioner Eric.
Thank you. With regards to the July 24th meeting, I realize there are lots of competing items, and I don't have full knowledge of everything that is coming on the docket. I did speak with the project team for the housing project at 123 Independence Drive, and they noted that they were hoping actually to be on this meeting agenda, which obviously they were not. And if not, then they were hoping to be on the July 24th agenda. And given our interest in building housing, I think that that development is partnered with Habitat for Humanity. I wanted to ask about when we suspect they'll be able to come before us.
Yes, thank you for that question. We've been working with 123 Independence. Unfortunately, we were not able to get it on that July 24th meeting, but we are looking at putting it on August 14th. Although that's not, that agenda hasn't been finalized, but that's certainly a possibility.
Okay, I will defer to staff. I know there's a lot going on, but if possible, it'd be great to see that on the August meeting.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments from commissioners? Okay, then we are going to adjourn this meeting. It is exactly 8 o'clock. Thank you, everyone. We are adjourned.